What's up again, everybody? Today we're going to talk about something that has become a very hot button issue for a lot of people within the community, and that is the banned and restricted announcement that went live yesterday. We're going to talk about what the announcement kind of entailed. We're going to talk about my personal opinion. I'll give you my opinion on the ban or lack thereof, the announcement itself, and a couple of interesting things that I noted in this article that I wanted to share with you. I haven't seen many people talk about it. Maybe I'm reading into it, but maybe not as well. Before we get too far into it though, I have to say a huge thank you to all of the people that commented on the previous video. There's been a huge outpouring of support and congratulations towards this channel hitting 7,000 subscribers. I am super excited for that milestone, and we're gonna have a giveaway. If you want to be part of the giveaway, you do have to hit the button. You have to make the number go up. But if you do that and then you go to my previous video talking about the giveaway, you can enter for completely free. It'll be a good time. It'll be fun. You'll have a nice time. I'm giving away a lot of stuff to say thank you because I think you guys are amazing, and I'm so thankful that you decide to watch these videos. You choose to use your time with me, and that is an incredibly humbling thing because your time is important, and the fact that you're choosing to use some of it to hang out with me is very sweet. It's very kind, so I want to give back to you. Giveaway in the previous video. I also want to say, if you do want to support the channel, you can do the Patreon thing. Those people are incredible. Those people allow us to do crazy things on this channel and crazy things going into next year as well. So if you want to become a patron and see all of the rewards that come with being a patron, head on into the description below. You can also use my affiliate links to support this channel. I have a Dragon Shield affiliate link. You can get Dragon Shield sleeves with this affiliate link. You can even get custom sleeves printed if you want. I highly recommend using it. Down in the description. And Channel Fireball, I have an affiliate link through them as well. So if you want to pick up Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, or of course Flesh and Blood, then you can do so through my affiliate link, and it would support the channel. All right, now let's talk about this scheduled, banned, and restricted announcement. Essentially, they're not banning anything yet, and there's a point to this. And what I think is a very valid point. Here's the very valid point. They are saying that this was scheduled for December 14th, and they did so with the consideration that the national championship season, the skirmish season, and the calling were all going to be completed. That's not the case, because the calling and 3 different national championships have not been able to fire due to COVID. Of course, right? It's like this game can't catch a break because COVID has always been in its life cycle, essentially. And kudos, I guess, to LSS for dodging and like weaving and bobbing and all that sort of thing, trying to make the game grow even through a global pandemic that usually kills things like businesses. But they still made it work. They're still making it work. And so they put this banned and restricted announcement in place, thinking that this would be a great time after all of these things are wrapped up to make changes to the metagame. Unfortunately, because those things don't exist, they are choosing not to make any bans or any restrictions to the Classic Constructed format while those events are still on the books. And those are still on the books. They are due to happen. They're due to be played out, those tournaments, next month, like towards the end of next month, before we get the Everfest set. And so I personally totally understand this decision for that reason. Think of it this way. It would feel really bad if you, who were grinding for months and months on different decks, trying to pick the one that you think could win you a high-level competitive event. If you're grinding, and then the week before, like let's pretend that like the calling was going to happen this Saturday. Okay, let's pretend that that's just the case, even though it's not. Let's pretend. You're grinding, they make this announcement, hey, by the way, we're going to ban the hero, or we're going to ban this card that makes your hero good, or we're going to errata the hero. You wanted to play Briar? I understand, it's a really good hero, it's probably too good, so we fixed it for you. Oh, by the way, if you purchased all of the things for that deck and you practiced for months on that deck to get better, or a month, or however long, your time is wasted. That feels terrible, and it looks really bad too, and it doesn't make for a vibrant metagame. It makes for rushed deck building going forward and pivoting, so we don't really get a good view of what the meta would look like anyway. So this is, I know there's a lot of people that are frustrated with the idea of like, okay, look, why can't we just ban it now? I think for that exact reason, that's the number one reason. They don't make a change because if they do, and these events fire in January, all the people that prepped for it, all the EU basically that prepped for it, and the Oceania that prepped for like New Zealand nationals, Australian nationals, all of them just get pushed to the side in favor of US players. Because US players, technically, we're all done. We've finished our callings. We've finished our national championship. There's a ton of other players that have finished their national championships as well. And so we, as a player base that have already finished, are sitting there twiddling our thumbs going, we don't like that Briar's good. And maybe that's valid. I'm not saying that it isn't. But we want the meta to be different. And there's a couple of ways that it changes. There's a couple of ways that the meta can be different. One, people play decks that combat that top tier deck. It's a trading card game. That's kind of how they all work. Trading card games have a top deck or a top couple of decks, and you play something into that. I mean, I would say that the chain meta was worse by a good bit as far as people not really being able to target it because it was too consistent. At least this has some playability, and they even note that with Oldhim, Chain, and to a lesser extent Kano and Lexi. And in this paragraph, I do want to say that they want to take the opportunity to note that they acknowledge that Briar has been very successful in the national championship. I agree, she has been, in my opinion, too successful to the detriment of other decks, but I will also say that there's always going to be a top deck. It's so easy in TCGs to go, we just want that top deck to go away and everyone will be happy. And then there's another top deck after that. Oh, we want that top deck to go away, until we get to the point where your specific deck is really good and then you're happy. And I would like that. I mean, we would all like that, but it's really never gonna get there. That's the problem. It's like that sliding scale. You can never get there all the way. And so they're saying that these heroes targeting the meta in general and Briar in general is encouraging for the possibility of not having to mess with Briar leading up to this. So there's ways that this meta changes. One, people target Briar with these heroes. Two, people discover a new hero that can also target Briar to again further push Briar down the totem pole. Three, and this is a big one, and it's another reason why I think they're not banning anything. Period, end of story. They're not banning anything. They don't leave room if they just ban something or restrict something. They don't leave room for Everfest to do anything. To do anything. It has no effect if they already banned the card. Like, let's just say that they've added support and buffs to other classes. And let's just say that Runeblade gets fun, interesting pieces that don't really have competitive viability. Just put that out there. Let's just assume this is a fantasy world that I'm living in, kind of like Wraith. And this all helps to make middle ground heroes even stronger. It helps to make lower heroes a little bit stronger as well. And it basically does nothing for Briar or the Runeblade class, which obviously already has 3 sets worth of cards. And so, you know, like power cards coming in Everfest would only serve to push it even more strongly forward. That process of creating cards to make other classes stronger and more playable against something like Runeblade, that process can't reach its full form and fruition if we just straight up just deal short term and ban the card. And so while I am of the opinion that yeah, Briar could probably use a pull down of power level, I also think there are pivot points and ways to do that, ways to see that occur if left to percolate. Now the other argument, and I'm going way off the rails, I probably shouldn't. The other argument is that yes, but people are frustrated and we want to play the game, but it doesn't feel like we can play the game, so I'm not going to play the game, period. I'm going to leave the game. That's another topic, one that I'll just do a video on tomorrow or something like that, because I do understand that feeling, and I do also want to say that there are some interesting conversations to be had about that topic. Nevertheless, we should keep scrolling, and I think this continues to point some crazy stuff out. Blitz Skirmish Season 3 concluded on December 5th with over 150 Blitz format events running across the world. The results shown in the table below show 5 different heroes spread across 5 classes, posting double-digit event win percentages. These are those heroes. We have Briar, Dorinthia, Oldhim, Ira, and Kano. And so yes, Kano, Ira, Oldhim, Dorinthia, Briar. These were 5 of the top 6 heroes that I put in tier 1, and the 6th one was Chain. But interestingly enough, right after that, we have Lexi above Bravo, which is very interesting. These are wins. These are not top 8s, but if we looked at top 8s, Briar is very, very dominant currently, and that's just because it's so easy to build a zero-cost Briar deck. Doesn't really matter what format. It's very easy to do that. I will say this, too. Ira has always been the boogeyman of the format with regards to just being super easy to play and super easy to pick up for new players. And now we see that same thing with Briar, and people are still upset about it. And that's okay. It's okay to be upset about a specific hero or a specific class. It's okay to feel that way. The question is, how do you act on it? How do you as a company like LSS, how do they act on it? When do they act on it? And how do they do that in such a way that their game flourishes? And that's an important thing to note. Now, there's a couple of little interesting things. I think this one's incredibly interesting right here. We are changing when a hero that has reached Living Legend threshold is no longer legal for official tournament play. Previously to this, they were going to say that they were just going to ban it when a new booster set released into the wild, basically. But they've changed that. The threshold check is being expanded to also include the date of these scheduled announcements. So essentially, now they can pivot and rotate a hero out very quickly. The moment they announce that something has reached Living Legend status, or the moment that they have released one of these banned and restricted announcements, they can rotate a hero out. So they are continuing to iterate on this Living Legend process. They are not just sitting back on their laurels and just watching people play this whole thing out. They're literally changing it tweaking it every little announcement so that they can find what they think works. And I think that's a really, really smart move. And I think this is a really, really smart change. The fact that in any moment they can just ban and then rotate, or Living Legend rotate out. That is a very, very smart thing, because it also could mean that, like, hey, let's just say Skirmish Season 3 or Skirmish Season 4 comes around, and let's go down to here, the Blitz status, 500 is the threshold. Let's just assume that, like, I don't know, let's just assume that Ira here just gains a ton of points and just dominates for some reason. Something in Everfest just pushes Ira super, super strong. At the moment that they release one of these announcements, these banned and restricted announcements, if the threshold has been reached, that's when it rotates. You don't have to wait till the next set drops. I think it's a very smart play overall. Another weird thing, I do think that it's weird to see Briar get literally 111 points from nothing, which is kind of crazy. Oldhim gets 78 points from nothing, which is nothing to scoff at. And then Lexi just jumps up a little bit, which is just kind of interesting to me, that whole process. Prism got a little bit. Chain jumped up a good bit, continued to jump up. Man, look at Dorinthia. Like almost 100 points. That's crazy. I don't know. I've literally heard no one talk about this fact. Blitz Living Legend literally jumped by 100 points, almost 100 points. That is a large jump for Dorinthia. So good on her, I guess, for gaining that many points. Kano gets a bit. It's interesting. Up here on the this is also funny to me. I just find it very funny that Chain. So many people were so passionately angry that Chain was a thing, and then the moment they did something about it and they banned Seeds, we see that Chain is still at the top of the leaderboard, but no one's talking about the fact that Chain's at the top of the leaderboard, because we're all satiated because they balanced things. And that's good. That's what you want, right? You want the game to be balanced. This is crazy. 400 points. That is crazy. But it also speaks to the way that we deck build and the way that we attack the meta, or approach the meta, I should say. We look at what works and then we take what works. That is what we've done so far in this game. We've looked at what works and then we just run what works. And the people that are attacking that have gotten some success, because we did see the last calling that took place in the US get picked up by an Oldhim player that just ground out a bunch of Briars. And so it's that kind of thing that I think LSS is really banking on the community doing, is attacking the Briar matchup and trying to make it work, and then also having the support of new cards from the new upcoming Everfest sets, which I'm so pumped for. I'm still super pumped for Everfest. Let me know in a comment below if you're pumped for Everfest as well. This was a bit rambly, I admit to that, but there's just so much swimming around in my head about this and about the state of the game. I am still very happy with where the game is. I've always loved this game, and I will continue to. I don't think the patch that is going on right now, with the fact that it's like the holidays, is as big of some sort of like worry as a lot of people are thinking. This is something I want to talk about in another video. Maybe I'll talk about tomorrow, just so that I can keep this one in a timely length, because I respect your time. I don't want to take it all up today. Maybe we can talk about it again tomorrow or something like that. If you would like to hear my opinion on the current like season and how it affects just games, trading card games in general, because I have seen this a fair bit throughout the years, let me know in a comment below. Also, hit the like and the subscribe and join the giveaway. I'm super pumped to give you stuff. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.